So Arsenal won, Crystal Palace nil, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Again, another game, another set piece, another clean sheet. No shots conceded on target again. That's 3 straight Premier League games. And yeah, it weren't the greatest of games. I'm surprised you're still awake, Kenny, if I'm honest. But
so
at the end of the day, we had to capitalise on Liverpool effing up. Man City folded under the pressure and they lost. So, yeah, all in all, it's been a good weekend. It's been a good weekend for us.
I think a lot of us have said, like, the theme at the Arsenal is that, approach with caution, but it's looking like we're even when we're not playing at our best, or we don't have to be at our best to win games. Like Crystal Palace, first off, I have to admit, before we got our goal, it was a case of like, I always thought that we weren't going to lose against these. Now, don't get me wrong, they've been playing well, they're in good form, but you could tell, like, with the exception of probably Wharton, with the exception of the goalkeeper, and the exception of Gahey, there was a bit of a golfing class and golfing quality. You know what I mean? And you can't knock it. And even when we had like the injury, Saliba having to come off, Rice having to come off, Calafiori having to come off, the fact is that they still couldn't break us down. They still didn't have the quality in it. It's one of those things where we're such a well-drilled team that we weren't at our best. We gave the ball away, but it's just that we refuse to lose. Like, as you said before, a lot of people talk about the set pieces, but at the end of the day, we did try to play through Crystal Palace. But at the end of the day, we only had probably one clear chance where Rice, scored from had a shot which was saved by with Henderson. Apart from that, we couldn't get in behind them. They couldn't get in behind us. It's one of those games where it was a scrappy, comfortable win.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, yeah, Eze's goal, I thought was outstanding, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it comes from a Declan Rice free kick. Yeah. A Gabby header back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Eze, he tried that against that Letty and cocked it up, and then Gyökeres scored off of the back of it. Today he tried it. It was written in the stars, Kenny. Eze Derby, he was getting the score, wasn't
he? He's got a funny story to tell you. The guy behind me, and he's not directly behind me, but you know where you can hear the noise. Say if you're standing right, and it's to the left of you, it's to the left behind you. He was slagging Eze off all game.
He was rubbish, though. I can't lie.
He was going, you've got to get Eze off. Yeah, it's not really his game. And then he scores a volley, and he's singing the Eze song. Don't get me wrong. Eze's like finding his feet, and he's finding that at Arsenal is different. When he gets the ball, he's a marked man. Like, for instance, the things he wants to do, like the individual things, he wants to shoot from like distance, his shots getting blocked. If he holds onto the ball, teams press him, and then he can give it a ball away. But he's going to have to keep on doing the things that we bought him for, because it's no good trying to buy, someone who can just pass sideways. That's not what he bought him for. But he wasn't the only one for something. I thought, like, Gyökeres, he worked his nuts off, but he struggled, really, in terms of, like, quality as well. The first touch, when he did get in front. And what I've noticed as well with Gyökeres, he hasn't got a lot of pace. He doesn't get away from someone. Now, you're going to think it's pretty bizarre because the goals you were seeing when he was at Lisboa. But he hasn't got a pace. Like Kai Havertz looks a lot quicker than him. Don't get me wrong. He's a better goal scorer than Kai Havertz will ever be. But I have noticed there is a bit of lack of pace. There are times when he was like on the shoulder of Lacroix, and he did get away from him. He was quite easy to handle. So that's something that, I don't know if it was an injury or not, but that's something that maybe that when we do try to put passes in for Gyökeres, it's got to be a case where he has to time his run, or we just put it on a plate for him. It's little aspects that when you watch the game close up, you notice certain things about some of the players. Obviously, the Eze performance, on TV, didn't look like he was playing well. And you're right. For me, he didn't look great because, he's probably tried to. But Bukayo Saka,
he was awful. He was awful, mate. Him and Zubimendi today, for me, were the worst two players.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's one of those things where last year, when players were off form or when they were giving the ball away, teams put us to the sword.
Yeah.
Or what will happen is that teams who weren't good enough to put us to the sword, because we were bereft of any sort of quality and probably confidence, we weren't punishing teams. But this season, we're in a situation where, apart from the Liverpool game, apart from like the City game, teams we for a start defensively we've been at best, and at the end of the day, we just had this resolution where, you know what, we're just going to have to find a way. Now it's only 9 games, but the signs are there that if we carry on what we're going to be doing, that it's going to be a situation where maybe Arsenal fans probably have to admit to themselves it's now or never. I
Yeah.
still think it's now or never anyway, because in terms of like first and foremost, the quality required. As I said, a few days ago, I've never seen a team that defends so well not win the league. I never see a team that's got everything in place for success in terms of like the players and the support from the owners and the support from the sporting director. It'd be like probably like tripping up, just before the 100-meter race, where you're thinking, how can you not win the league? And that's how it looks at the moment after 9 games. But because we've been down this road before, there's an air of caution about it. No one wants to say it.
The last 5 teams that have, or the last 5 champions, yeah, they've been the top scorers in the league. Yeah, so maybe this year's a change in that, because Kenny, nobody looks like scoring against us.
No,
yeah, and the fact that we've got 29 out, we've got Jesus out, Odegaard out,
yeah,
we've got other players out as well. Yeah, like
yeah.
no, we ain't really missed them because the way we play is not essential to Odegaard being in the team.
No, not
Because
at
we
all.
can have Jose in the team now. Yeah,
Yeah.
Madueke's out. He's another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can have 2 or 3 players off form.
Trossard as well. Trossard as well. If you asked me in the beginning of the season, would you, is Trossard good enough to get his team? I would have said no, but we need to improve on him. But one thing about Trossard is he's now having to work his nuts off. He's now having to make things happen because there are players coming in, and like I said, the team doesn't exactly have to pick itself anymore because he's got options where previously last season, the season before, and the season before that, the team, well, the players kind of picked itself. Like it was, we're in that system. We were very critical of Mikel. We were basically saying, you know what, why don't you, like I said, have some sort of like rotation? And we came to the conclusion, well, we couldn't because you can only trust certain personnel. Well, that's not necessarily the case now because the team is basically the bed makes itself, the car drives itself, and because the car drives itself and the bed makes itself, it's very, very hard for teams to penetrate. If I was an opposition fan and I was watching my team play against Arsenal, I'd be so angry. I'd be so deflated because. But I know people don't like comparisons with Jose Mourinho, but do you remember back in the day when Chelsea were at their pomp in 05 and 06, where you played Chelsea and you
just
thought,
grind you down,
and you thought, you know what, I just don't want to play football anymore. You just want to go home and just want the match to end because you just knew you weren't going to break them down. You knew you weren't going to score.
as soon as they scored, it was game over, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was a case of like you couldn't get them beyond their fullbacks. You couldn't go through the middle. It was a case of like it was so organised that you thought. And I think
and then they'd have Hardy and Robin go and slap one in top bins, 1-0.
Yeah, but what's happened is that whilst they'll have someone like Ian Robin, whilst they'll have someone like Big Frank, and maybe Drogba to muscle you through, we just got to set pieces. You think about it, last week.
But do you think it's sustainable though, Kenny? Because it's been sustainable in terms of we keep doing it and it keeps working. But when it comes down to the crunch, we're 17th in the league for open play goals.
Yeah, but
somebody's going to stifle us at some point to a point where we get a draw, or a couple of draws, and then it lets the others in. Which is why, listen, it's working, it's fantastic, we're all happy, and we're looking at the other teams thinking, wow, they're all rubbish. Yeah. But are we that much better, or are we just better set up?
You've got to remember one thing. Liverpool should be losing at Brentford. They should be in a situation where they equalise as champions against Chelsea and Crystal Palace and Man United, and they end up losing those games. That's on them. It's the same Man City. They spent Liverpool, going back Liverpool, they spent about, was it £535 million or £538 million? they should be in a situation that they should enhance what they've done already. That's
Yeah.
on them. In terms of
Yep.
Man City as well, they've already bought players in January, and then they've enhanced their squad and they bought a lot of quality players. But that's on them. If they keep dropping points, then and we don't drop points, then it'll be a case where
We run away
we
with it.
we'll run away with it, but not by having to play well. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people argued last season, Liverpool didn't have to be that great because we dropped points. It comes in cycles. One of the
3-0
things.
Spurs. 3-0.
Oh my God! One of the things in football I've learned over the years. There's two things in football that are factual. It's difficult to retain the Champions League, and it's bloody difficult to retain the Premiership. You have to be like something super. That's why I shake Man United's hand in the '90s and the 2000s when I used to win, your twos in a row and sometimes threes in a row. Man City deserve a pat on the back for winning it 4 times in a row because look at what's happening now. Liverpool won the league by 10 points. They found it doubly difficult now to get back into it. When we used to win the league under Wenger and George Graham, we found it difficult to retain the league as well. So it's one of those things where maybe, just maybe, it's not your turn. But again, it's only 9 games. It's still a lot of football we played. But at the end of the day, if they drop points and we don't drop points, then
And that's 4 times now against 4 teams
yeah.
that we dropped points to last season where we ain't dropped points today. Or
And-
yesterday or the day
yeah,
before.
but-
The
yeah,
day
but-
before. I'm saying. It's like
yeah.
we've got over that hurdle from
Yeah,
last year.
but I still say one thing, right, is that people may not agree with me. I think it's just having proper fullbacks. As much as people are critical of Calafiori and praise Miles Lewis-Skelly, the team does look more solid with Calafiori at left back, Timber at right back, and they enhance the centre halves. That's our centre halves. Maybe, as someone suggested in the comments, that it's 4 centre halves because at the end of the day, to play the way we play, especially and defend the way we play, you have to love defending.
Yeah. Facts.
Timber loves defending. Saliba and Gabriel love defending. And Calafiori loves defending. You've got players who just want to be like, super, Jesus Christ superstar. They want to be the one who takes the stylish free
Then
kicks.
you got the legs in midfield with
Yeah.
Declan. You got Zubimendi off, even though he's poor today. Yeah, he can do the passing. You got Eze who can do something out of nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got Saka who can do something out of nothing.
But that's the thing. You've got to love defending. To play with the way we play and to be able to frustrate the opposition, you have to have enthusiasm for your job, enthusiasm for defending, and the will to lose. Maybe our players are just so fed up of playing, doing okay, and still not winning anything. Maybe they're pissed off with it. Maybe
the manager's pissed off with it, Kenny, and that's why he's gone to what we're doing now. And listen, if he wins the title, I don't think there'll be. Yeah, exactly. I don't think there'll be a single person. Yeah, and listen, we don't rate the manager. Yeah. If he gets us over the line, I don't think there will be a single person that supports this club that'll go, well, that was boring. No, it is boring to watch. But guess what? It ain't boring lifting that trophy in May, Kenny.
Now for some mischief. I was on a podcast where a certain person thinks that we'll be, people like me and you will be upset if we won the league. On the basis,
guess what? Them people, Kenny, need to come and apologise to all of us because some of these people have seen titles, know what the feeling's like, and some of these people haven't seen titles, so don't know what it feels like. So guess what? They're going to get that joyous feeling. They're going to feel something in their tummy, in their bellies. They're going to be over the moon. They can have bragging rights. They can walk around chest out, shirts on. We're champions. Guess what, Kenny? We've been screaming that for 6 years since he's got it. So they can come and say apologies to us.
But I think he's going to want a few apologies for us. But at the end of the day, you should never.
Well, good job they paid to think, innit?
You should never apologise for being passionate and wanting to win. You should, just like you should never apologise for being the other way, where you're being patient. At the end of the day, we all support the club in our own way. We all think that being a good fan for some people is getting behind the team no matter what, whatever the weather, stealing that song. And there's fans who think, you know what, we're a massive, massive club and we've got a right to demand success. And if people can't stand that, brand of support, then stuff them as well. So it works both ways, Leeds.
Facts. Listen, get home safely, mate. I've shared your Instagram post, Kenny Kane 1972 on Insta. And we are top of the league. Yeah, bring on Brighton on Wednesday. We're out. Jez is next. Emergency meeting coming up. I'm going to see if I can get a couple of people to jump on. And Yeah, man, we go marching on game by game. We're out. Laters.
Well,